Wife did the ultimate betrayal. My wife 38F me 41 meters have been together 15 years, married 11 with 3 children ages 8, 6, and 2. We are a single income family where I've been the sole provider for our family since our first child was born. After our first child was born, we decided that the area we were living in was not the best place to raise our children, so we decided to relocate. My job as a firefighter was 2 hours away from where we were currently living, so the decision was made to move to a place closer to my job since I was the only one working. We moved to a small remote town in Central California where life was going well until COVID hit. We lived in this home for 5 years, but when COVID hit I noticed my family being ripped to shreds, wife crying, kids crying. At this point we now had all 3 kids and my youngest was a newborn. My wife came to me and said she felt trapped in this town and she had no support, no family near her. Seeing and understanding this demise, I began looking around at places we could move to and I would return to commuting to work. Her parents lived in St. George, Utah, and the schools were open in UT, so this move made the most logical sense and would leave me with a 6-hour commute to work, but with the FF schedule I figured I could make it work. So we decided to sell that house and relocate. Fast forward another year, I was working 10-12 day stretches and home for 10-12 days. My wife came to me again and said this was too hard and the stretches of me being gone for long durations were very hard on her. Once again I now found myself trying to meet her needs, so I found a job with a fire department that was just 30 minutes from our home, but this new position was going to be a pay cut and put stress on our finances. The decision was made, the risk was worth the gain. I took the new job, now living nowhere near any of my family and in a new city with no friends, and now working for a department that was in the middle of a huge transition that required my attention even off duty to try and help get things in order. This put a lot of stress on me and our relationship, but I is now home more to give her more free time to do things she wanted to do. She had asked about going back to school or getting a part-time job, and I told if that would make her happy to pursue it. Apparently this was the wrong answer, as she did not do either of them. In July of 2022 she took the kids to a Leaving California Lake event, and a random father and his kids stumbled across her and had a short conversation. Come October 2022 this man seemed her out as he was having an open marriage. At this time I noticed my kids starting to really act out and my wife become very distant and cold. By Thanksgiving things were a disaster in our house. Her whole family was at our house. I was very warm and welcoming to all of them while she treated me like SHT. After everyone left our house I approached her to ask what was going on. I was greeted with being yelled at and being told she was done and did not love me anymore. We went on a date a few days later to discuss what was going on, and I asked specifically if there was someone else, and this question was avoided. The date ended in me in tears and just wanting to run away. In December I loaded up the kids and took them to a family Christmas get-together on my side of the family in California. This is when her secret was revealed, as my in-laws came to our house to drop off gifts for the kids and walked into another man and my wife in the house. The cat was now out of the bag that she was having an affair. I was ultimately crushed. She told me I had not fulfilled her needs since our first child was born, time was terrible, and that I was boring. I had done everything for this woman. I had given up all my hobbies for this woman to be more available for her. After this news I attempted to take her out on a date once a week, just turned into her belittling me, make more dinners for the family. She would not eat with us, planned a birthday for her in which she would get to be pampered at a spa and come home to one of her favorite meals along with dessert. She rewarded me with going to Vegas with her AP and returning home at 2 a.m. 2 days before her birthday. I gave her a 3-day break from the family in which she was supposed to go and think about what she wanted from our marriage, and she promised the AP would not be there. This was another lie. Yesterday we had a very long conversation in which she texted me that she was sorry, very unheartfelt. I told her that this would not suffice, as I wanted to see it, I wanted to feel it, and I wanted to hear it. She then became very upset when I explained how all the things she had done over the last 4 months had made me feel. In the end it appeared all she cared about with her apology was me taking the day off of work so she could be spoiled and pampered for her birthday. I cancelled my day off. I cancelled her spa day. Now I get the tough road of figuring out how to be a supportive single father of 3 very young children. Update: all credit cards cancelled, bank accounts froze. Her cell phone deactivated. The funny part is, and this was excluded by the previous post, is that she accused me of dragging our kids into this, but she was taking our kids out on dates with her AP and his kids. She has also been leaving our 8-year-old at home to be in charge of the kids while she sneaks out at night or goes to the gym on the weekends. Update: wife betrayal. So today I told my STBXW that I will be filing for divorce. She has drained our personal savings account. I deactivated and cancelled her cell phone line per my lawyer's consult advice, and she threatened me that this was illegal and she will get lawyers involved. This is all a mess. Oh, and she finally went to individual counseling. I guess according to her counselor I'm a dirty rat. Redditors' reactions. Next story after. Redditor 1. So the last time we had a wife drain the finances, she was horrified to learn that she would have to put back half. She said she had spent it, and there was nothing left. So, we took her car, and her jewelry inclusive of her engagement ring and a grandmother's ring that had been passed through her family, and had it turned to cash and given to her ex-husband. When her mother heard that she had to surrender the ring, she offered to mortgage her house to get at least the ring back. She made good what her daughter had taken, however the ring had been sold, and there was no getting it back. He gave mom the cash value. So the fallout was that WW was blamed for the loss of a family heirloom going back generations. Consequentially, WW lost a significant portion of her family. She hit every jewelry dealer and every pawn shop on the East Coast in search for this ring. When she found it, the price was astronomical. The ring was old and had not been evaluated in some time. The stones were real diamonds and emeralds in a platinum setting. Even the hallmarks were expensive. She informed her family and was told to find a way. At least she did not have to get into an auction. However, she went into hock for the next decade or so. She admitted her entitlement had put her into long-term debt. Redditor follow-up. This is both amazing and sad. Amazing she messed up her life, sad that the family lost the ring. Redditor 2, counselor is only hearing her side of the story. She is painting you as the villain and her the victim. She probably didn't even disclose the affair and said she had a male friend is all. Without honesty, therapy is useless. Redditor follow-up. A good and professional therapist finally will get the truth. But now they must get confidence with the client. But sometimes there is a difference between what they say and what the clients understand or want to believe. And of course there are non-professionals that will tell you what you want to hear and get the money. Redditor 3, I don't believe judges look kindly on one party draining the bank account. Redditor follow-up, a lot of lawyers still tell their clients to do it though. When my parents split, my mom left my dad the best, and first thing my dad's lawyer did was make him rewrite his will. Some people die after divorce and their ex is still the beneficiary. Story 2, wife 26 spilled her secrets to her Reddit lesbian lover. My wife 26 spilled her deepest secrets to her Reddit lesbian lover. And I 27 know everything now. Before marriage, my wife told me that she's sexually attracted to women. She'd been watching lesbian PRN since high school, but she said she was far more attracted to men, especially emotionally. She said she could never be in a relationship with a woman. With my permission, 2 years ago she occasionally sexted with a lesbian on Reddit. I really didn't care. Our marriage was decent, and I thought the idea was kind of hot. That stopped when she deleted her Reddit account. But I noticed she got a new account cause I saw the app on her phone a few days ago. She was on the app a lot. Like for hours at a time over the past few days. She closed her phone quickly when I entered the room. I crossed the ethical lines, because I know her phone password. When she was asleep, I opened up Reddit. It was the same girl. They were s-ing, exchanging nudes, etc. Although I didn't like the secretiveness, this was not the end of the world for me, but I read on. They'd developed such a strong friendship. But my wife told this lesbian girl that she could never date a girl. That's good for me, right? My wife insisted that she's only sexually attracted to women, but unequivocally not emotionally. Good, right? These two women kept exchanging secrets to one another. My wife said that she occasionally spoke to the man she lost her virginity to in college. A year into marriage, she met up with him. But she was so nervous she just sat in the car. She said she could never forgive herself if she actually slept with him while married. She said this man has offered to fly her to his home, but that she could never accept. She even said that she sent him the occasional nude. The last time she's chatted with him was 3 months ago. She says she hates herself for this, will be taking it to the grave, and that her husband could never know. She says that nobody knows except her secret Reddit lesbian lover. She also told her secret Reddit lesbian lover that she has an extreme crush on one of my close friends. That she would 100% duck him if she wasn't married. We've been out drinking together, and it all makes sense. On multiple occasions when she was drunk and I insisted we go home, she has only ever had a massive fight with me about it when this guy was there. What the hell should I do? How do I confront her? I was in a shoal and looking at her phone, but now it can't be taken back. We don't have any kids and I absolutely love her. She had a tough upbringing with family deaths, etc., and so I understand that she's often an emotional confused mess. Should I talk to anybody about this? I mean, other than a counselor or lawyer? I don't want to unnecessarily slander her name around town. I want to be married to her. But this is a lot. We've been fighting more and more over the past few years, and this probably explains a lot. Story 3, my wife F29 sexted a client. I, M31, just made 6 years of marriage this January. We have 2 kids together. My wife is a manager at a medical spa. I've always periodically skimmed through her phone's texted just as a peace of mind. Well, on January 1st I did again. The text messages of her and the client were deleted, but I came across texts with her friend from work talking about him not texting her back and how it was driving her crazy. In these texts with her friend I found a few screenshots of his text messages. Nothing ever happened between them other than texting, and the S-time part was all very generalized. They never had plans of meeting up or anything, and she says they were even very awkward when he went into the spa in person. It was all over text messages. She says it's all to do with her insecurities, and this made her feel better about herself. Any of the clients that go into the spa are either wealthy, fit, and attractive, and likely a combo of all 3. Both male and female clients. Wings that I cannot recover the text messages. It is making it a lot harder to get move on. It's eating away at me not knowing everything that was said. They really only texted back and forth for maybe 2 weeks or so throughout the course of about 6 to 8 weeks. What are y'all's opinions on this? Any ideas for me to recover the messages? I've tried several things to no avail. Update, on wife S-timing a client. Polygraph test is $675. Other options for recovering deleted iMessages? Update, okay, so she has agreed to my terms and conditions that I've given her thus far. 1. Try to recover the deleted messages. 2. Access to all social media accounts and passwords and phone whenever TF I want to. 3. Find a new job within a certain time frame. 4. Location sharing. 5. Counseling. At this exact time, that is what I told her and she agreed. Nothing is set in stone at this point, but for my kids I owe it to them to at minimum try to work through this. And I am confident that nothing physical occurred, despite everyone's opinions saying they did. 6. Also, she agreed to take a polygraph test since we could not recover the deleted messages. But a polygraph test is $675 in my area. And then they only allow you to ask 3-4 questions per session to ensure the highest level of accuracy. I've already been a real FN idiot trying to pay someone over the internet to recover them. That someone on here messaged me to look this guy up and contact him. I knew better, I really did, but in my desperation to recover the messages I did what I felt necessary. BC, honestly I didn't give a F. I just wanted the messages. So with that, does anyone have any suggestions on how I can somehow acquire deleted text messages? They both had iPhones, so it was iMessages. Apparently none of the texts were backed up in iCloud. I contacted Apple. BC Verizon told me they cannot see the content of the iMessage, only if it weren't iMessages could they, that it would be Apple. Apple said they cannot retrieve them once it has been past 30 days if they were not backed up through the cloud. Nothing that anyone does electronically ever really disappears. I know that is true. But it seems that unless I have FN access to the NSA that I am unable to recover them. Does anyone know of a possible way for me to do so? Thank you. Story 4. My 28M wife 30F did the unthinkable and slept with my brother 32M and father 55M. I honestly don't know what to do with myself. I always thought if I was ever put in a situation like this I would always have my family to help me through it all. Now I feel hopeless. For starters, my dad and mom divorced while I was a baby due to my dad's infidelity. I believe my mom died from a broken heart. She was died just before my 2nd birthday. My 28 wife 30 cheated on me with my brother 32 and father 55. To say I'm devastated is an understatement. I have never felt so betrayed. I'm a fool for not noticing any red flags. I am so angry and hurt. I have no one to talk to. I don't have any friends. I thought I was good working husband. I have never cheated, nor have I ever skipped a day to tell my wife she was beautiful and that I love her. I didn't know what to do. I'm so confused and upset. I want to be angry with my wife and I'm hurt by her betrayal, but I can't believe my father and brother both went along with the affair. No one had the idea that maybe this would break me? Utterly scar me? I don't know how to move on from her cheating. It's so painful. How can I forgive my family? I wish my mom was here so badly. I know I didn't know her, but I feel like a hug from her right now would save me. I feel like they physically and emotionally hurt me. I felt like they had taken away my trust and my happiness and ripped it into pieces. I feel like she had ruined my life, like I have no reason to live anymore. I'm so angry and hurt. I don't know what to do. I'm so confused and upset. This is the worst experience of my life. Feels like I'm drowning. My only up is my job. We have 2 kids together and I never wanted to raise them in a broken family, but I just don't know if I can recover this. I probably would forgive her in most cases, but God, it had to be my father and brother. Wake me up from this nightmare. Story 5. I want to know how to not be an angry, bitter, and resentful person towards her. Advice? I've posted on Reddit a few times about this, but I'd like to give some details of why I am how I am and why I want to change. When she was my fiancée, 8 years ago, she cheated when my son was 2 months old. We got over it and reconciled, got married, and for 8 years all was well. Well, 7 months ago, she did it again. Her mom told her to divorce me because she didn't like me. And guess what? Soon after, my wife broke back into our house, which she had already left, used a spare key I wasn't aware of, took all my son's documents I paid for, and bounced. Then came the hostile behavior, saying she didn't want to be a housewife, saying I didn't support her, saying I was emotionally abusive. Then came the asking me for money for our son. She used my money to fly out of state and cheat for 4 days with a random from Facebook. That was in September 2022. Then she calls me angrily asking for a divorce, calls me a narcissist. I file divorce. Periodically she would email me acting nicely and asking for money. This continued until December, but stopped because I didn't provide any after she had used my money for a concert and to cheat on me. Sometime after September 2022 she stopped communicating with the out-of-state guy as far as I'm aware and started meeting up with and making my son interact with 2 other guys here locally. One of them has since been discarded, but the other is now her boyfriend. Late November 2022 she drops by to pick up my son and tries to initiate random conversations about a neighborhood dog and also a random article of clothing that was laying on the sidewalk by my yard. Around December 2022 she came to my home to pick up our son, walks in, turns on the lights and goes, "Why is it so dark in here?" I told her, "Excuse me, you can get out, this is no longer your residence." She proceeded to get mad that I left a bag with clothes of hers outside of the home for her to get. I proceeded to tell her off and listed all the guys she has cheated on me with. She then goes home and texts me, "God knows what else you've done." I sent an ugly text message to her fake text now number back in early January calling her a loser and saying that she can go with all of those bums she's been with and told her how evil she is. I also told off her brother and her mother and sister for supporting her ruthless behavior despite not knowing the facts and proceeded to tell her, "Never think in 5, 10, 20, or 100 years you're welcome back in my life. There's no chance in hell that'll ever be possible." This is because before she left in July 2022 and began her rampage, had liked a music video on YouTube about a girl dumping a guy and referring to him as a loser. So obviously this plan was thought out quite a while in advance, yet, she said she left because we argued in the car one night. About 2.5 weeks ago I get an email about how she wants to know what the problem is and if everything is okay because I haven't called for our son. The truth was I didn't even have a phone, so that's why I didn't call. Plus, the thought of her hearing me gives me anxiety. About 3 days ago, I pick our son up from school and the following morning receive another email from her saying, "Hi, can you have him call me? School is cancelled today." I had him call her 3 times to her text now number and she didn't answer. Suddenly, the police arrive at my door as I was working from home for a wellness check. Then, after they leave, I have my son call her a 4th time and she had an extremely brief conversation with him. She asked him how he was and if I am at home or not. Then she says, "Okay, see you on Thursday." Besides all of the aforementioned, I forgot to mention that I suspect she had first cheated on me with her ex from 8 years ago back in July 2022. That's what initiated everything. Then she eventually interacted with these 3 other guys. She's already kept the 4th guy and is intimate with him in front of our son and goes to that guy's house with his family and has my son over there. Also, she drops my son off at his cousin's sometimes and goes with the new guy. We had no attempts to talk about our relationship. She changed her number in August 2022 after I was paying her phone bill the entire time. I never got her number since, not even to communicate for our child. It's been fake text now numbers, which I no longer mind as I stopped caring. It's been random bouts of ghosting, her blaming me, her calling me a narcissist, her nicely asking me for money, her claiming I hit her once not true, and then random calls. Back in early July 2022 she would call privately and unknown. She strung me along for months and never said we were broken up or anything. She didn't say much until the second cheating event in September. I filed for divorce back in November of last year and I am currently the primary custody holder. I have to drive far away to pick up my child from school because she put him in a random school by her mom's house without informing me or even asking me. Every day I have him, between going to work and to pick him up from school, I drive over 100 miles, whereas he goes to his grandma's house on the bus. Her sister and mother supported her cheating behavior, and her sister accompanied her out of state to facilitate the cheating process. Her mother didn't give a damn about me and turned on me too. They both attempted to go together to file child support on me back in September 2022 and their plan backfired. As long December 2022, my son by himself told me that his grandmother said something to the effect of "I'm so glad you all are here with me, it's my turn to live with someone." She thinks it's a competition and I kept her away from her daughter? She said I isolated her daughter from her. We are 31 years old. I never isolated her from her mother. Her mother kicked her out when she was younger, but now that her abusive boyfriend died, she was lonely and did everything to get my wife to go back to living with her. Sadly, my wife complied. She treats her evil mother like a god. Imagine that. I still love her, that's the sad part. Our 8 years were great. I don't understand any of this. I feel severely betrayed, not good enough, and horrible that she's doing what she's doing and has destroyed our marriage and our son's upbringing. All the while I've gone to work, exercise, and have stayed alone. No flirting, no dating, no anything besides reading about infidelity and just trying to compose myself. All of this happened 4 months my dad died, and 5 months her dad died. This is when we needed each other the most, or so I thought. I was going through it extremely rough when she began her issues. With all of that being said, what can I do to not be resentful, hateful, and bitter towards her despite the horrible circumstances? I have acted out in retaliation by calling her private when she wanted my son to call her to give her a taste of her own medicine and called for one wellness check on her whilst I heard her mother yelling in the background. How do I learn to be happy and not be so angry? Not going to lie, I am very angry at her and pray every day that she and her new boyfriend and family go straight to hell for all of this. I am trying to improve my life and want to not be so angry, but it feels so impossible due to everything that's transpired over the last 7 months. Any advice? Update: I still can't believe she cheated again. 7 months later and I'm up at night thinking of how crazy it all is. My wife, soon to be ex-wife and mother of my child, cheated again. Stupid me didn't learn the first time. She cheated when he was 2 months old. Besides her ex, she had 3 other guys on her phone. Guess who she was talking crap to? That's right, just me. We eventually got back together and got married. Big mistake. 8 solid years passed and then we hit 2022. My dad died and 4 months later we were in the car arguing about finances. Next thing you know, she leaves to her mom's. Then I get hit with the "we can be friends" line. She cheated on me with her ex and literally 3 other people. One was out of state and the other 2 here. Now she's bringing a moron around our son. We're not even divorced yet and within 7 months she ran through 4 guys. Only in December did she ever show she remotely cared about me. She said "God knows what you have done" via text. I guess that's her guilty way of hoping I haven't done what she has. Almost the entire time it was like the first time, pure ghosting. She flipped the script and said I was emotionally abusive and blamed me for everything. Then proceeded to call me a narcissist. And her mother and sister encouraged her infidelity. It's like I'm living in a dream world. I can't believe this is my reality.